we talking about diverse dating. We talking about just brother Reggie just left. His point of views of why he only would like to date black women.
Okay.
I prefer to be with somebody who treat me the best, no matter what the race is.
Okay.
I seem to find through my experience, it hasn't been black women.
Okay.
And that's through my experience. So we can get your take on it, on how you feel about the issue.
So what I will say is that I'll start by saying I understand both ends of the spectrum, right? My grandfather is mixed with black and white. So I grew up in an interracial background. But growing up in high school, middle school, and all of those things, I was not allowed to date white women. So, and I never would understand, with my father being biracial, why would he not allow me to date white women? So I'm originally Mississippi. Where I'm from, it was segregation, right? It was segregated. We had blacks on one side of the road tracks. We had whites on the other side of the road tracks. And in Mississippi, I was never exposed to white women. So I went from an all-black school, moving to Texas, to an all-white school. I moved to Texas. I was located in Keller, Texas. Me and my brother were the only blacks in our school. And, I was popular because I was the only black. So the white girls used to like the shit out of me. But, I had a little white girlfriend in middle school, and I remember one day, I tried to bring her home and this, and my parents just were not having it. And I couldn't understand why. But then when I dug a little deeper into their history and where we come from, I understood why my dad didn't want me to date white women. So I've been listening to you all, and I don't think that it's not that a white woman can't understand a black man. I definitely think a white woman can understand a black man, right? I think they can understand our struggles. They can understand the inequalifications that we dealt with as a society. But I don't know if they can sympathize and empathize with them as much as a sister. Not saying that's a good or bad thing. Understanding, I think we all understand it. And when it comes to the sympathy and the empathy, I don't know if it's the exact same.
You know what's funny, Brother Deuce? If you come to a sister with some sort of complaint or the way you feel about something,
it turns into an argument, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
It does. It turns into an argument, and they also see you differently. They see you as weak.
You're right. You are so right.
So, but if you come to the race with the same issue, it turns into a sense of you being consoled.
I totally agree, Blaze.
So that's why I say I prefer the ethnic that treats me the best. And what's the best for a man is all we really need is respect. That's it. And we need support. If you can't do those two things, to me, you just irrelevant.
Here's what I think. I think that as a society, as a culture, we always focus on what the next person is doing wrong, right? And I don't understand the importance of acknowledging what a person is doing right? So when it comes to my sisters and my brothers and this and this and that, I feel as though just as much as we tear each other down, we got to build each other up. You know what I'm saying? So when I've dated a lot of sisters, they always tend to pinpoint on the things that we do wrong. Not understanding if they were to put a little bit of that focus into the things that we do right, we'll feel like Popeye the Spinach Man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go way harder, right?
I feel what Brother Reg is saying, I think what he's saying would apply very well if this was 1960. This was 1950. see, a disconnect happened after 1970 when it came to a black man and a black woman. There was a disconnect there.
But why?
Something happened.
Why?
Because, see, the white woman started a liberation movement in the 1970s. They started to want their rights to work and all this other type of stuff.
Women.
Yeah, the white women.
Okay.
But the thing is, they did that. Black women started another liberation movement, was this independent thing.
But can you blame them when they watching their black men get raped by white men? How can you protect me when you can't even protect yourself?
See, but the difference is, both did a movement, but the white realized, hey, we still need our man. So the mindset of knowing that the man is important, that's the key right there.
But I don't blame the black women, and I don't blame the white women. You know, I feel like the white women may have realized that because they've seen a different avenue of a man.
Okay.
You know, as a black man growing up in slavery on those plantations or whatever you want to call it, you know, how can a black woman really admire and look up to a black man when he has no control over anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the days, if you think about it, a white man could easily go in, have you, your wife, your son, and your daughter if they wanted it. So how can a black woman respect that? So respect got lost along the way. Now, for white women, it was a little different because they was always curious. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand white women are used to their white men having control. But at the end of the day, black men always had something that white men never had. And white women always knew that. They was always curious about it.
Oh, no.
I mean, my bad.
What do you think about that?
Talk to me,
Rebecca. You say that you have.
We
you
get on
prefer...
this whole concept of white women date black men because they're well endowed. Well, I'm just going to tell you, not all black men are well endowed.
No,
that's really not what's going down. Probably more black men are not well endowed compared to the well endowed ones. I think that a lot of our conversation is talking about the past and how our cultures perform.
Hold on, Rebecca. When you say well endowed, what does that mean, right? When you say well endowed, what are you talking about?
They're penis size, well endowed.
Okay. Well, let us know.
They're penis size.
Okay.
So
I
now that we clarified that,
size, but I feel you though.
Okay. I think you kind of knew what I was talking about. You just wanted me to clarify it, and that's fine.
I actually didn't, but I'm glad you did clarify.
Okay. So one thing I think that we are overlooking as well is we talk about the culture, we talk about the background, we talk about all the inner workings of these races. But when you date, ultimately, the first 10% to me is physical attraction and what you find physically attractive. So I think that a lot of times, too, we may find somebody physically attractive just because we like their attributes, whether they're our own race or not. Some man, a black man may say, oh, my beautiful black queen, I love her caramel skin and her hair and all this kind of stuff. Whereas the next man may say, I love your blue eyes and your red hair. Right. And that's what attracts me to you physically. Right. Because as human beings, we have to be physically attracted to the person we are seeking out. I don't care. Initially, that's what draws us to somebody. And then later we figure out all their stuff because everybody has stuff. Is it restricted
to physical attraction or are we talking about mental and physical attraction?
Okay, so what gets you in the door is physical attraction.
I totally agree.
What gets you in the door is physical attraction. So it's whatever your preference is. And I think, of course, we're at an age right now, like I don't have to justify my preference to anybody. I like athletic. I like dark skin. I like feeling protected. You know, Blaza said something about white women seeing black men as strong. I like the protector, provider type thing. So, but I don't have to explain that to anybody because I'm 43. I'm allowed to have whatever preference I want. And so I think that we've overlooked the whole fact that physical attraction is what gets you in the door. All this other stuff is what keeps you.
I would never deny that. You're right about it. But let's get back on this penis size because, you know, I do not think that penis size has anything to do with who you want to be with because I've been in a lot of situations where I just fucked with the tip. And they still get off. And I don't mean to take it there, but I know that penis size has nothing to do with, you know, so I was not talking about penis size because you can satisfy a woman with multitudes of penis sizes. So I don't think that. And I had to learn that. You know, when I first started having sex, I felt it was about the long stroke. Let me get it all in. Let me do this, do this. But when I started learning women, I realized it had nothing to do with that, right? It's the motion.
Well, I will tell you, as a white woman, the first thing somebody says is, "Oh, you like black men because they have big dicks."
That ain't got nothing to do with it.
But it doesn't have anything to do with it. But people will say, people have said that to me, literally.
I wonder.
Oh, you just date black men because they're well endowed. So that misconception of white women are pursuing that from a black man.
I don't know. I'm with you on that. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I feel as though it's about being in tune with the body language. You know what I'm saying? Because I swear to you that from the women that I've had in my past, it wasn't about the size necessarily. It was about the chemistry, the connection. You know what I'm saying? And most of that's why a lot of these women are gay, because men think it's always about the dick size. They feel like, let me just get in and long stroke. Let me get in and just, and they don't even understand.
We have so many topics going on right now.
No, but
I'm sorry to take it there. You said dick size, so I had to address that.
You know what? We can keep it's really the same topic, because if you prefer something, you are really putting all that into your preference. If I prefer a white woman, I'm putting in, you know what? I like the way she treat me. You know what? I like the sex game of a white woman. You know what? I like the way I can just come to her and talk to her without it being an argument, and I can actually get some feedback that'll help me.
In the 2000s, white women treated black men better. I don't think that's the case right now. I think we're stepping into a new millennial age where people are cognizant and aware of that. You know what I'm saying? So I can up here and say a white woman treats me better than a black woman. 10 years ago, I would say that, right? But I think that black women are aware now. They're cognizant now. They're paying attention to that now. So I don't feel as though a white woman is going to treat me better than a black woman. I feel as though it's more so about being in tune with where we are right now.
You know, I think if a black guy only prefers a white woman, I think he prefers that he likes to be catered to. Like, if we want to talk about sex, I done been with most black women who don't want to give head. Don't want to get a head. You get with a white girl, Hispanic girl, going hard on the head. And that might change your preference. Like, you know what? I'm going to just stay right here.
But I know black women that like giving head, and I know black women that hate giving head. So what we do?
Okay,
I know the same.
Can I chime in on that one?
Yeah.
So I think that has to do
Hey,
with,
y'all, this is late night. This is late night discussions right here. Put the kids in.
Background they came from. Because I think, we sit here and talk about black women versus white women, but I think naturally black women have always been more on the defensive. So I notice y'all say, I would like to talk to her and not have an argument, but I think that sometimes they're just more defensive than maybe a white woman. Like me, I don't take everything defensively. Sexually, I think you are who you are. I think if you're a pleaser, you're a pleaser. I think if you're not a pleaser, if you're not sexually in tune with who you are and you're not comfortable with who you
Totally
are, that's going to come alive in the bedroom. Either you're not going to be sexually in tune with that person or you are. I think
You're
that's
right.
in whoever you are, because I think there are plenty of black women that are very sexual. I think there are plenty of white women that are very sexual, and there's women that aren't.
You're right.
I don't know if that necessarily has to do with race.
It has a lot to do with race. And I think you hit it right on the nail, right? I know plenty of black women that like to give. I know plenty of white women that like to give, and I know plenty of black women that don't like to give. But what I will say this, I don't know many white women who aren't givers in the bedroom, right? So I can say that I know a lot of black women that are givers in the bedroom, and I know a lot of white women that are givers in the bedroom.
So
but I don't know a lot of black women that are, I've come across more black women that are not givers in the bedroom. And I've never come across a white woman who's not a giver in the bedroom. I've never come across a white woman who is not going to make sure that she pleases her man in the bedroom. But I have come across black women who don't do that. So I can.
I've been with a white woman that has been raped or sexually abused or had a negative connotation when it comes to sex. They're out there. So you have to consider their background. I mean, you never know what a person has been through and why they don't do what they. And I mean, luckily, maybe you ran into the white women that don't have that kind of history. And so
You're right. You're right.
But there are plenty of people that do, because they have been sexually abused. They have been raped. They have been abused. And so I think you have to consider that as well.
I think you're totally right. You know what I'm saying? But my personal experience, I've never come across a white woman who wasn't a giver in the bedroom. But I have come across black women.
That's awesome. You're very fortunate.
I'm fortunate, right? I'm fortunate. But
yeah.
But wow. I think your point is spot on, right? Because you never know what one may have been traumatized by or what experiences one may have had in their past, regardless Absolutely. Of their color or race or ethnicity.
I will say this. Talking about this topic, dating diverse cities, we have come across many reasons. We have come across many issues. And really, what is the conclusion of this? It's pretty much down to a preference of what? Of like your past experiences, what you've been through.
I still don't think white women can empathize as much as black women can empathize. I'm sorry.
We done had Brother
Empathy
Reggie come on.
It has to do with the individual person. I don't think it has to do with the race.
Well, we done had Brother Reggie come on, give his point of view. Got Brother Deuce.
And notice I didn't say understanding, because I think we all can understand it, but I think black women can feel it from a different perspective.
And we got Miss Rebecca. I'm Brother Cliff. This is the Nine Truth. And y'all have a good evening, good night, good day. We out.